The dark secrets and the real truths that happen in the entertainment industry, more specifically the idol industry, is something that a lot of people have now been interested on, and that is obviously because of the success of Oshinoko, both the manga series and of course the anime adaptation. Now, it's not to say that this is the only time that we have seen a series talk about what truly happens behind the scenes in these entertainment industries. I mean, back in the 90s, there was this thing called Perfect Blue, which is also a series that still lives up to this very day. Despite it being from a different time period, some of the things that are even shown in that movie as well are things that are still happening to this very day, which just really shows us that there hasn't really been a whole lot of change, and if there has been very too little change in these kind of industries. Now, as someone who is a huge fan of both Oshinoko and Perfect Blue, I have been trying to find if there was another series that is very similar to these two series, and it seems that luck was on my side because I happened to stumble upon another manga series that is just very similar to Oshinoko, and this series is called Watashi no Arika, or in the English translation that is known as My Arika, in which after reading the available chapters that are in English, this series has a lot of potential to be the next great thing that talks about the idol industry and what truly happens in this entertainment industry. Now, the reason why I said that I was only able to read the available chapters that are in English is because, well, this series is still ongoing, and while it has a total of 38 chapters altogether, it seems that for whatever reason, only 4 chapters have been translated into English. The rest are still Japanese, and sadly, I'm one of these people that has no idea how to read Japanese, so I'm pretty much only going to be covering volume 1 of this series. But even then, just these 4 chapters gave me a great insight of what this series is going to be about, and hopefully once more chapters are translated to English, I will be able to talk about this series more, and hopefully that comes very soon. But until then, let's just jump right into this series, My Arika. The story of this series is about how an idol named Mamiya Arika is part of this idol group, and it seems that she has built a good reputation for herself as she not only has a huge fan base and is part of a very popular idol group known as Lyrical Trick, and it seems that for the time being she's very happy on where her life is right now, and she even was another member of her idol group that she can't wait to see what the future will bring. However, sadly this wouldn't be the case, and everything wouldn't be sunshine and rainbows, as in 1 week later, after one of her performances, she would disappear. Now, this of course caused a lot of people to be talking about this because it was very weird for one of the most popular idols to just disappear like that with no trace left behind, and of course many fans are devastated. Despite the police investigating for pretty much a year at this point, they still haven't really found any clues as to where she is right now. The only thing they have going right now is surveillance footage of her leaving her place that she was staying, and that's pretty much it. However, the police are very quick to explain how they are very confident that this is probably a case of an obsessed fan or somebody that was a huge fan of Arika who took things too far, having to do something with her disappearance. However, despite them saying this, there are some members of the idol group that are still worried and don't really know what's going to happen with the group now that she is missing. However, despite all this, the idol group continues to do their daily activities. However, one of the members of the group, this being Chihiro, was walking by and she stumbles upon a girl walking the opposite direction, and when they both get close enough, she notices the smell of her is very similar to Arika, and she's very quick to assume that Arika has returned, only to find out that this girl is not Arika. We would find out eventually that this girl's name is Mijajima Nana. Despite the weird encounter, this member of the idol group just brushes it off because she has other things that she needs to worry about, and that is her next performance in the next show. And after the performance, everything seems to be great. However, when one of the members talks about what has happened quite recently involving the disappearance of one of their members, this of course does not sit well with the fans because they don't like a very serious subject being talked about in their shows. It seems that some fans don't really want to hear it, as for some this just brings the mood down. But the subject will quickly change once one of the producers of the show announces a very groundbreaking news, and is the fact that not only are fans allowed to see the group once again in meetups, but the group is now going to have new members, and there's already been a couple of people that are auditioning to become new members of the idol group. Some members were obviously in shock because they were not told of this, but there was another issue, and it was the fact that the producer was ignoring the police commands to not have anybody interact with the remaining members of the group, since of course because they're still investigating, And of course, who can forget that there's still a member missing, but it seems that the producer doesn't really care because he's more worried about the profits that they are losing rather than the safety of their group, which isn't really surprising because sadly there are people in the higher ups of these kind of industries that only care about the money and they don't really care about the safety of their employees. And as if things couldn't get even more shocking, the members that are actually auditioning to become the next members of the group are actually on stage, and while some explain why they want to be on the idol group, there will be one person that will make a huge standout from the rest of them, and that is of course Nana, who tells them that the only reason why she's here is because she wants to follow the footsteps of Arika. This of course creates some outbursts, but it's toned down after the producer explains how the auditions are going to work. After this, the actual members of the idol group Lyrical Trick are having a hard time processing everything that just happened. But this wouldn't be the end because as it turns out, the members that are auditioning have access to the backstage and are now going to talk to the members of the idol group Lyrical Trick. And while Nana tries to apologize to them for what she did, which was bring up the Arika case in their performance, one of the members actually confronts her, telling her that now because of what she did, their fan base is very angry, which leads to another member of the group telling Nana that it's very dangerous to talk about these kind of things because they don't know how dangerous a fan can become. And this is where she reveals that she is one of these people that believes that Arika's disappearance had something to do with a fan. But this is where Nana reveals a bombshell, stating that what if this is not an obsessed fan? What if the reason why Arika disappeared was done by one of the members of Lyrical Trick? This of course creates heavy tension, but the members just simply move on. However, it wouldn't be towards the very end of this that we come to find out that there are some members that are not showing their true colors. But because of what Nana said, now you're clearly seeing that some members are going to now show who they truly are. And after this, we come to find out towards the very end the real reason why Nana wants to join this idol group. And that is because she wants to investigate what truly happened to Arika, what is actually going on, and who is actually responsible for her disappearance. But she isn't alone, as we will come to find out that she has her own group of people that are also going to help her not only try and figure out the actual things that are going on with Arika's disappearance, but also going to try to help her out into becoming an idol, since she doesn't really have the personality or characteristics to be an idol. So they're going to try and help her out in order to join this group. And after this, the group joins together and starts talking about what has happened quite recently. Nana explains her situation, what she had to go through during her first meetup with the idol group, as well as her audition. And of course the other members are listening, but they're also trying to give her advice, saying that this is not going to be easy and they need to have strategies for whatever happens during their mission. We then get a flashback in which it seems that during the whole Arika disappearance, when this was first happening, the police were investigating the fans of the group, and some of these people were part of Nana's group. And while the interview went smoothly and the police were just about to let one of them go, this is where the person tells them that they actually found some very interesting information. We will come to find out that Arika used to have a blog post in which she would pretty much be frequently active. However, in her last post, while it may seem normal, the first few sentences seem to have a secret message. And this secret message was, "There is a traitor, someone help me." However, despite the police being shown this, they don't really take it seriously and shrug it off because they still believe that this was something done by an obsessed fan. However, they take the information into consideration and thank him for giving it to them. However, once they are out of the police station, we see Nana shown to have been desperate in this time period about where had Arika gone. And despite her pleading with the police to say anything and her giving information that could help them, one of the police investigators actually trash talked them, saying that this is the reason why nobody really is a huge fan of otakus, since otakus just simply like to waste other people's times while they have nothing to do in their own lives. This of course frustrates Nana because it seems that nobody's actually taking this whole situation seriously. We then get back to the present, in which Nana explains how one of her tasks in order to be able to pass this audition is that she has to make a video of her singing and dancing. However, it seems that she's not really prioritizing on this because she says that she'll do whatever it can to at least make it look decent, as it seems that she's more focused as talking to people behind the scenes in order to get any information about Arika's disappearance. However, this is where one of the members of her group tells her and confronts her, telling her that she needs to take this seriously or else she is never going to be part of this idol group to continue with her investigation. Because if she doesn't take this seriously, nobody in this industry, in the entertainment industry, is going to take her seriously and talk to her about things that were going on behind the scenes. That's how important it is to not only set an image of herself, but she needs to show that she is someone valuable. This of course makes Nana mad and she storms off. We then get another flashback and it's revealed why Nana is so interested in Arika, and this is because Arika used to be a longtime friend. You see, Arika and Nana used to be from the same hometown. However, because Arika had dreams of becoming an idol, she decided to move to Tokyo to start her dreams. And even though at first Nana didn't seem to care that Arika was leaving, that was something that Arika could quickly see was not the case. And she tells her that everything is going to be fine and that once she gets big, she hopes she could see Nana in one of her performances. After recalling this flashback, this is where Nana realizes that the people around her do have a point. She really does need to take this whole thing seriously if she ever wants to make it to this idol group to accomplish her goals, because that is something that Arika always did. She was always determined to accomplish her very own goals. Some time has passed and this is where the group realizes that Nana has uploaded her video for the audition in which she is singing and dancing. Now of course it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad as well. However, some of the members of the group realized that she is now taking this seriously and they could tell from her face. However, one thing that kind of confused them was towards the end of the video in which Nana was just simply glaring at the camera very menacingly. Now this may not seem like a big deal, but towards the end of the chapter we see that one of the members of the lyrical trick idol group was keeping an eye on Nana, and it seems that she now has her eyes on her, possibly because Nana has now become somebody that she can't ignore. Some time passes and the people auditioning are now in a dance rehearsal studio practicing, and this is where they meet the dancing instructor. And despite Nana attempting to get information out of her, she is not somebody that's going to give that information out very easily. After the rehearsal, obviously all the girls are exhausted, and when they are given a break, all the girls decide to talk to each other and try to get to know one another. This is where all of them share their similar worries of them being part of this idol group, because it seems that there's a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things that they have to do, and they have to be perfect no matter what. Most of them are worried about the voting system and they wonder how many votes they're each going to get, and some of them even wonder if they should start focusing on online things in order to get as many people to vote for them. This is where Nana intervenes, explaining it to them that it seems that the performance are the ones that are going to be the most important. Sure, they can get votes online, but it seems that the talent and them being able to sing and dance is what truly matters. And it seems that at first some of the members agree and they're going to focus on their performance. However, that wouldn't last long, as no surprise, some of the people that were auditioning were now starting to use social media and of course YouTube and live streams to get as many votes as possible. And for some it was actually working very well. This is where Nana and her group once again talk, and Nana's group is not surprised that some of them went to this approach, because in this day and age with the internet being very popular, building an image and building a reputation online is something that a lot of celebrities and a lot of people who want to be famous start doing nowadays. And they try to encourage Nana to do the very same thing. Nana tries, but it's very clear that she's not a very internet person and these kind of things are not her style. But she quickly realizes that she has to do this or else she is going to be left behind. Some time has passed on, and during their next rehearsal, when the dancing instructor gives them a break, instantly a few of the girls are instantly very quick to get on their social medias and talk to the other girls about collabs in order to build their reputation and try to get more votes. The instructor is annoyed at this, but she's not surprised since it seems that the second generation of this idol group did the exact same thing and has made a trend, so she's not too surprised that the third generation is doing the exact same thing. However, it seems that not everybody is doing this, as Nana is just busy practicing her moves and rehearsing even more. The instructor is of course surprised when Nana tells her that she's trying to be perfect and she wants her to keep teaching her more. This is where the instructor is of course recalling a similar thing that happened way back then, in which Arika was the exact same person that Nana is now. She was somebody that always wanted to be perfect, was always working hard to make sure that what she did was always the perfect thing. This will lead to the instructor wanting to help Nana out, and this will lead to them, of course, having a private rehearsal between each other. However, even though things seem to be good at first, somebody who is part of this audition is already coming up with a plan. During one of her live streams, she kind of sets this image that there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and of course this makes viewers curious and want her to tell them more about what is going on. And towards the end of the chapter, we will come to find out that this person is going to start rumors about Nana in hopes that this could be a sabotage for her so that she doesn't get as much votes as she does. And that will be the end of chapter 4. There is more chapters like I mentioned earlier, but sadly these have not been translated. And believe me, I tried looking for English translations of this series of all the chapters in many different sites, and it seems that for whatever reason, none of these sites have a full English translation of the recent chapters, even the chapters after chapter 4. So yeah, it's something that I guess we'll just have to wait until somebody translates them, because I really don't know where else to look for them, because I literally tried everywhere. But apart from that, this series has really got me interested in. I am going to keep an eye on this series, and hopefully there's more to come, because if you are a huge fan of Oshinoko, you are going to like this series. It tackles some of the things that made Oshinoko great, this being what truly happens in the idol industry, the entertainment industry. But I do like how it actually makes a few things more different than Oshinoko, like how not every fan is this obsessed stalker or evil person. Of course, that's not me saying that no fan base of a celebrity or an idol group is going to have bad people, but that's not the majority of the fans. Some people are very normal people who are just big fans of celebrities and idol groups, and that's just it. Nothing sinister going on inside of them. And I also like how this protagonist is actually doing things differently to infiltrate this industry. If you have read or watched Oshinoko, you will know that the main protagonist of that series, this being Aqua, doing very sneaky things or tactics in order to get what he truly wants. However, in this case, Nana is simply trying to do her very best in order to make a name for herself. And I also like how this series tackles on the whole thing of, having to always look out, because there might be somebody always trying to get you and always trying to make sure that you're out of the competition. Not saying that Oshinoko didn't tackle this kind of subject, I just feel like this series did it more earlier on than Oshinoko. I may be misremembering because I haven't read the beginning of Oshinoko in a while, but I do recall that in the beginning of Oshinoko, it was mostly like a prologue and what's to come with the series. But that's pretty much all I have to say about this series. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully in the near future there's more chapters translated. And if you're a huge fan of Oshinoko and or a huge fan of Perfect Blue, then this is your manga if you're looking for something similar to those two. But anyways, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.